Hey everyone. Ever feel like learning just isn't keeping up with how fast the world's changing?
Like you're just getting information, but not the skills you really need.
Exactly. And that's why we're diving deep into the work of Dr. Yogesh Malhotra,
He's a leader in AI and education.
trying to solve this exact problem.
What's so fascinating about Dr. Malhotra is that he's pushing for a really fundamental change.
Not just automating stuff with AI,
Right. It's way more than using it for personalized learning or whatever.
though that's important too.
Yeah, for sure. But he's really focused on this gap between knowing something and actually doing it.
Oh, I feel that.
He wants to use AI to bridge that.
Yeah, I've definitely been there, reading tons of stuff, feeling like I get it, but then...
Can't actually use it in real life.
Exactly. So how's he proposing to fix this?
One of his big ideas is double loop learning.
Double loop learning.
It's about challenging the way AI usually learns. Most AI is stuck in a single loop.
What does that mean?
It just reacts to data, doesn't question if its goals even make sense.
Like a thermostat that just keeps adjusting without knowing if the temperature is even right.
Exactly.
Okay, but how does double loop learning change that?
Imagine an AI system that learns, but also starts to question things, its assumptions, its goals.
Like an AI study buddy that doesn't just help with homework, but helps you think critically,
Yes, that's the kind of transformative learning he's talking about.
making us adaptable.
And insightful, not just good at tests.
That's huge, especially with how unpredictable everything is these days. But how do we even build AI that can do that?
He talks about building what he calls quantum minds for AI.
Sounds like sci-fi.
I know, right? But what he's getting at is we need AI that can deal with uncertainty.
The messiness of the real world.
Exactly, like humans do,
So not just following rules, but adapting and evolving.
even surprising us.
That's wild, but I need a real-world example. How would a quantum mind work, say, in learning a language?
Okay, so instead of just giving you vocab and grammar, this AI tutor would analyze you,
My learning style.
your progress, even your mood.
Whoa.
It could see if you're struggling with something, offer different explanations, even suggest a break if you're overwhelmed.
Wow, like a personal coach, not just a digital textbook.
That's the idea.
But what about teachers? Do they even have a place in this future Dr. Malhotra is talking about?
Absolutely. He's not saying replace teachers.
Good.
He sees AI as a tool to empower them.
I like that.
AI could handle grading, admin stuff.
Giving teachers more time to actually teach.
Exactly. Focus on deeper engagement with students.
That makes sense. It's like a partnership.
Teachers and AI, each doing what they're best at.
But how do we make sure these AI systems are actually helpful and not making things worse, like perpetuating biases and stuff?
You're right. That's a big concern. Dr. Malhotra knows that. He really stresses building ethical and transparent systems.
How do we do that?
One way is through something he calls the 3 GenAI meta search engine.
Coming in.
Basically, don't just trust one AI. Use multiple AI models to get different perspectives and then cross-check that with regular search engines.
So it's like fact-checking the AI.
Exactly.
That's smart, especially as we use AI more and more.
It's about being critical and not just accepting whatever the AI says.
So it's about fostering that skepticism in people.
Right. AI is a tool, not a magic solution.
All of this is really making me see AI in a whole new light. But tell me more about what Dr. Malhotra is doing himself.
He's developed some really cool AI tools. One that's particularly interesting is called Yogi AI.
Yogi AI squared.
Yeah, pronounced like.
Pretty. What's it for?
It's designed to make something called appreciative inquiry more efficient.
Appreciative what now? Remind me.
It's a way of solving problems and being innovative by focusing on what's already working well.
Okay.
You identify positive stuff and build from there. It's very human-centered.
Sounds right up Dr. Malhotra's alley.
It is. So Yogi AI helps groups find patterns and insights.
Like an AI facilitator.
You got it.
This is fascinating. But I want to go back to personalized learning for a second. You mentioned that language tutor, but I'm really curious how Dr. Malhotra sees AI tailoring education to each person. Because honestly, one size fits all just doesn't work.
Absolutely. He addresses that directly. He believes AI can create truly personalized learning paths, taking into account each student's strengths, weaknesses, and interests.
Moving away from that factory model of education.
Yes, toward a more learner-focused approach.
I love that. It's about helping everyone reach their full potential.
Exactly.
Do you have any specific examples of how this might work in a real classroom?
Imagine an AI that analyzes a student's reading level and suggests personalized materials, challenging enough, but not too discouraging.
Oh,
Or an AI that figures out how a student learns best, visually, through listening, or by doing things, and then adapts how it teaches them.
that's incredible, a custom-tailored education. And it's not just for academic subjects, right? It could help with art, music, even starting a business.
You're right. Dr. Malhotra believes AI can make education a holistic journey, discovering yourself and growing.
Not just about memorizing facts.
Exactly. It's about unlocking potential.
This is so inspiring, but I'm also thinking about how much our education systems would have to change to make this happen. And change can be really hard, especially with something as important as education.
True. It's complex. Dr. Malhotra acknowledges that.
It'll take a lot of collaboration to make it work.
Teachers, policymakers, tech people, even the students themselves.
And a ton of patience. But if we do it right, it could change everything.
It could create a future where every learner is empowered and ready to deal with the changing world.
Wow. We've covered so much, and we've only just scratched the surface of Dr. Malhotra's ideas.
There's a lot more to explore.
But before we go any further, I have a question that's really bugging me. It's about that double loop learning idea and AI questioning assumptions.
Okay, what is it?
What if AI could really question its own assumptions? Not just ours, but its own. How would that change how we learn, solve problems, even how we understand ourselves?
That's a deep question. Gets at the heart of what intelligence really is for humans and machines.
And maybe that's a question Dr. Malhotra can help us answer.
Let's see what he has to say. It really gets you thinking, AI questioning its own understanding.
It's almost too much to think about. We're used to AI as this tool, something we control.
Right. It's there to serve us.
But imagine if it starts to challenge our ideas, makes us see things in totally new ways.
That's when things get interesting. That's when real learning happens.
Like when you're forced to rethink what you believe.
Exactly. Like having an AI Socrates constantly poking and prodding you to think deeper.
Maybe it could even help us solve some of the really big problems we're facing.
Climate change, inequality, all that.
What if AI could help us break out of our old ways of thinking?
It's a really interesting possibility. And it comes back to that knowing versus doing thing.
Just having the information isn't enough.
We need to use it to make a difference in the real world.
And maybe AI can help us do that. Not just by giving us more information, but by helping us ask the right questions.
Helping us overcome our biases, see new possibilities.
It could be like a catalyst for solving problems together.
Amplifying our intelligence and creativity.
It's powerful stuff. I think it really reflects how Dr. Malhotra sees AI.
Not about replacing us, but making us better.
More insightful, adaptable, resilient.
Exactly.
It's funny, we started talking about AI personalizing education. Now it feels like we're talking about how it could change humanity.
It's exciting. And maybe a little scary.
But it's a conversation we need to have.
We can't pretend AI won't have a massive impact on everything.
And I think Dr. Malhotra is helping us have this conversation in a really hopeful way.
He's not just warning us about the dangers. He's also showing us how AI can make us better.
Better learners, better problem solvers, maybe even better people.
I think that idea really resonates with this show.
Exploring new ideas, challenging assumptions, finding new insights to help us make sense of the world.
Speaking of insights, I keep thinking about appreciative inquiry. It seems like a big part of Dr. Malhotra's work.
It does, and it feels important for thinking about AI in a more human way.
It's about focusing on what's good, on potential and positive change.
Not just fixing problems, but building on what works. Using AI to help us be more creative and innovative.
Working together better.
Almost like using AI to help us build a more appreciative society.
One that's not just focused on fixing things, but on celebrating our wins and working towards something better.
Maybe that's the key to navigating the future of AI.
It's not about being afraid. It's about seeing the potential and using AI to build the world we want.
But let's be realistic, it won't be easy.
There will be challenges, ethical issues, things we can't even predict right now.
That's for sure. But I think Dr. Malhotra gives us good tools to deal with those challenges.
Especially his focus on critical thinking.
We can't just believe everything AI tells us. We need to understand it, be involved in shaping how it's developed and used.
Definitely. And that goes back to double loop learning, not just for AI, but for us.
We need to keep learning, adapting, changing how we think about AI and what it means for society.
It's an ongoing process. Who knows where it will lead?
But Dr. Malhotra is helping us find the way, showing us how AI can change education and unlock human potential.
It's definitely a journey worth taking, But before we finish up, there's one more thing I want to mention. It might seem a little strange at first.
Okay, I'm listening.
Dr. Malhotra actually questions the whole idea of SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, all that.
Wait, seriously, I thought SMART goals were like the best way to set goals.
They can be, but in a world that's constantly changing, they can also be too rigid.
Like trying to use a map when the landscape keeps changing.
Exactly. So he suggests a more flexible approach, one that's comfortable with uncertainty and changing direction as you go.
So instead of trying to predict the future, we need to be ready for anything.
Right. And this connects back to quantum minds. If we can build AI that's flexible and adaptable, maybe it can teach us to be the same way.
It's almost like we're learning from the AI.
It's a really cool idea. Human and artificial intelligence working together to create a more adaptable future.
It's a great vision. I think Dr. Malhotra is showing us a path to get there. This has been an amazing deep dive, and we've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to Dr. Malhotra's work. We'll put some links in the show notes so everyone can explore further.
His research, articles, even his social media, he's really putting his ideas out there.
It's worth checking out. You'll find so many thought-provoking ideas about AI, education, and what it means to be human.
And who knows, maybe it'll even spark some double loop learning in you. But before we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with a challenge, inspired by Dr. Malhotra's own journey.
A challenge. I like it.
This week, think about your own learning. What are your goals? What are you assuming? How can AI or anything else help you question those assumptions, push yourself, and become a more adaptable learner?
It's a great challenge. And remember, it's not just about you. Dr. Malhotra shows us how important it is to learn together.
To create spaces where we can share ideas and challenge each other, kind of like what we're doing right now.
Building a culture of learning and innovation. And AI can be a powerful tool to do that.
It can help us build a more appreciative society.
One that's not just fixing problems, but focusing on what's possible.
That's a vision worth working towards.
Definitely. And I think Dr. Malhotra's work shows us how to get there.
It's inspiring and challenging. It makes us rethink how we see technology, education, and ourselves.
And it shows us a future where AI isn't controlling us, but we're working with it, shaping it.
That's the best part. It's not about predicting the future. It's about creating it together.
And who knows, maybe we will create those quantum minds someday. AI that's as adaptable and intelligent as humans.
That would be something else. But for now, we'll leave you with that challenge. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing boundaries. We'll see you next time. It's like we're all figuring this out together, this whole AI and education thing.
Yeah, it's uncharted territory.
And that's kind of cool.
The best part is there's no right answer, no set path. Like embracing the uncertainty is part of it, experimenting and learning as we go.
Just like that double loop learning thing.
Exactly.
When we started, I was mostly curious about the practical stuff.
The tools and applications.
Yeah, but this has turned into something so much bigger. Like a whole new way of thinking about learning itself and intelligence. Even what it means to be human.
That's what I love about deep dives. You start in one place and end up somewhere totally unexpected.
And now we're picturing this future where AI isn't just a tool, but like a partner.
In our learning and growth, as a species even.
And it can push us to be better.
More adaptable, resilient.
Maybe even more appreciative of, everything.
I love that. It's not about AI taking over. It's about AI helping us reach our full potential as humans.
Maybe someday we will see those quantum minds Dr. Malhotra talks about.
Can you imagine? AI that's as creative and caring as the best teachers.
That would be amazing. A total game changer.
But even without that, Dr. Malhotra is giving us a plan.
For a better way to learn, more equal, more engaging.
Where everyone has the chance to reach their potential.
That's something we can all get behind.
So to everyone listening, we challenge you to join us. Learn more about Dr. Malhotra's work. Think about your own learning.
Embrace the power of asking questions. Never stop learning.
Because in this age of AI, being able to learn and adapt, that's the most important skill you can have.
And never stop asking questions.
Even or especially when those questions lead you somewhere unexpected.
That's where the real adventure is. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries. Until next time.